Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Luke. I'm on TV. So today I thought I would show you guys a pretty cool trick for those of you who have an iPhone and T-Mobile phone service. The trick that I'm about to show you might work for other users as well. Those of you who have a different phone or a different phone service, it could work for you too, but I can't say that for sure. I can really only validate the fact that I know that it works with iPhones and T-Mobile. So if you guys are out there and you try this and it doesn't work for you, don't get mad at me. I'm not promising you all that it will work with all your different phones and all your different phone services. I can really only say for a fact that I know that it works with iPhones and T-Mobile. So anyway, I do have an iPhone 5S and I have been with T-Mobile for a little over a year now. And for the most part, I've had pretty good experience with T-Mobile. I live just outside of Minneapolis in the Twin Cities metro area. And when I'm in the area, I do usually have pretty good service. I don't usually have too many problems. But it's as soon as I leave outside of this area and I drive up north out in the country, that's when I really start to experience a lot of problems. And I seem to lose signal pretty quickly. And as soon as I do, a lot of my service is in and out from that point on. And it isn't until I reach the next big city that that's when I really regain all signal. So I have a lot of issues with that, and of course I've looked into possible fixes over time. And the trick that I'm about to show you does kind of work. A lot of the time, it's not foolproof, it's not 100%, but it does help quite a bit of the time. And also, it's going to help with some other things as well, which I will discuss in this video. So anyway, so this is just a general view of my home screen here. This is what it generally looks like on my iPhone. And as you can see here, it says I have no service. And it's at 2:34 in the afternoon. So actually, so what I wanted to do here is I wanted to just go down and hit settings here. So when you tap settings, it's going to bring up your settings screen just like this. And as you can see all the options. You can see carrier and personal hotspot and cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. And what do you actually want to do though is you just want to go to airplane mode and you want to switch it on. So when you use airplane mode, what you're actually doing is you're going to cut off all possible transmitting signals. You're going to turn off phone, you're going to turn off texting, you're going to turn off all kind of data, and you're going to really turn off everything. So it's really disabling most of your features on your phone. And when it was designed, it was actually designed for actual like boarding airplanes, so that when you put your phone in airplane mode, it's not going to possibly interfere with their radio signals. That's exactly what what the objective was when they created airplane mode. So actually, what you want to do is, so you just want to switch it on. And again, I have no service, so I switch it on. Now, when I do that, you lose your carrier because you no longer have any kind of service at that moment. And then your cellular and your personal hotspot are now grayed out. You don't have those options anymore. And you can see the little flight icon at the top left there. And you can see everything. It's still 2:34. Now, when I do this, I usually leave it in airplane mode for about a minute and a half. I just kind of let it do its thing, make sure my phone is completely off the grid at this point, and then also I'll do that for about a minute and a half, and then I'll switch it back. So when you switch it back, now it starts to bring all your options back, but it's searching for signal. And when it's searching for signal, what it's actually doing is it's looking for the next best signal. It's looking for like if you're in an area where you have sketchy service, you're in a sketchy area, it's going to look for the nearest tower that has the best strength. That's actually what it's doing. So again, now it's searching, and then all of a sudden, bam, I get T-Mobile phone service again. I only have 2 bars, which isn't real strong, at least not when I used it on this particular day. But anyway, that could be enough to at least send and receive phone calls, send and receive text messages. You might even be able to browse the net, at least, if you just want to look something up really quickly, or things like that. But sometimes it works better than other times. Obviously, when I used it on this particular time, it didn't work extremely well. Sometimes, you will lose signal, and you'll do the airplane trick, and then you'll bring it back, and then all of a sudden you actually will have a really good signal. Like if maybe you only had 2 bars before, and then all of a sudden you do the airplane trick, and it finds the next best tower, and then now you have 4G, or now you maybe even have LTE. You might have better signal than you did previously, and that's when airplane mode really comes in handy for things like that. And one example that I can really give you is, because it's happened to me frequently, that even though I might be in the Minneapolis area where I generally have really good service, don't usually have any problems, that sometimes I'll walk into a building, like maybe like a brick building, and when I do, I lose service. I mean, you're anybody who has T-Mobile, you know that their service is pretty sketchy anyway. But when you walk into a lot of buildings, you have a lot of problems with service. And so when I do that, I will lose service. But here's the thing. Sometimes when I walk out of the building, I still have no service. My phone will say no service. And even though I'm now outside, I should be getting signal again, but I just don't. So again, that would be another great example of where you might want to go to airplane mode, switch it to on, and then and then switch it back off, and then it'll do the search, and then you should be able to regain signal. Now, some of you are going to say, well, doesn't this just work the same as just turning your phone off and on? Well, that's kind of debatable. Some of you are going to say yes, it is, but from my understanding, from what I've learned about that, is that technically when your phone is off, it's not completely off. It actually is still sending and receiving some messages and things like that. It actually is possible to maybe still get your GPS direct coordinates could possibly still be detected with your iPhone off. And also, your phone is also remembering things too. Like when even though you turned it off, it's going to remember your GPS, your current GPS coordinates, and the last tower that you were using and whatnot. So when you turn it off, turn it back on, it's really just going to remember those things, and it's going to just look for those things once again. It's going to look for that same tower that you were using. So again, if you use airplane mode, you're taking yourself completely off the grid now, and now your GPS is not being tracked. Even though it's called airplane mode, it's also called flight mode, or sometimes even stealth mode, where you are virtually undetectable when under airplane mode. So I think it is debatable, but from my understanding, that airplane mode does work better. And again, if you're in an area where you're going to have sketchy service, and you turn your phone off, you turn it back on, it may only get the signal from that previous tower that you were using. It may not actually look for the next best tower that actually has a possible stronger signal. So again, that's where airplane mode comes on. And also, one more note about airplane mode is it's really good for charging your phone, because when you turn on your airplane mode, again, it's disabling everything. It's disabling your talk and your text and your data transmission and everything else. It's disabling pretty much everything. Most of your apps are disabled, so it's not using all your battery, it's not using all your juice and all that stuff. So actually, when you go in to plug in your phone will actually almost charge at double the rate that it would is if the airplane mode was off. So when you turn it on, you actually can charge your phone much quicker. So if you're on the run or something, and you really only have 10-15 minutes to charge your phone or something like that, that actually might be a really good option for you. You might want to just put your phone into airplane mode and then charge it, and then maybe instead of getting 15% battery back, maybe you get 25-30%. It's it charges at about double the speed, from my understanding. So that's just another good example of where airplane mode could really become handy and could be very useful. So anyway, this has been my video for the iPhone trick for T-Mobile users. As always, if you have enjoyed watching this video, and if you found this video helpful, please make sure to like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you next time.